Hey, check this out. This is good news. This is coming out of dailymail.com. Woke cancel culture is a form of bullying and no platforming, an attack on free speech. Pupils will be taught. So this is in the UK, but they're going to start teaching that cancel culture is bullying, which we all know, and no platforming is, of course, an attack on free speech. So let's get into the article. Teachers will tell pupils cancel culture is not part of a tolerant and free society. Students will learn that people with controversial opinions should be respected. It comes as some mainstream speakers have been blocked from speaking at universities. Pupils will be taught that cancel culture is a form of bullying and no platforming, an attack on our freedoms. So true. It's very good. This is finally kind of starting to get out there a little bit, even if it is just in the UK. As part of the government's drive to protect freedom of speech, secondary school students will learn that people with controversial opinions should be respected. Or at least they'll be taught that. Hopefully they'll learn it. In Department of Education training manuals, teachers are instructed to tell pupils that the cancel culture, which has taken root at many universities where individuals call for a boycott of a person or a company whose views they don't agree with in the hope they lose their job or clients, is not part of a tolerant and free society. It's absolutely not. That's really good news. It's really good news. The move appears to be a direct response to incidents where mainstream speakers, including former Home Secretary Amber Rudd, so former government official from the UK, have been blocked from speaking at universities by political opponents. Obviously, it's going on all over the world now. So this is really the first mainstream article I've seen talking about some government actually doing something other than the U.S. government. Also, make sure you subscribe to the channel. It's a big help to me, by the way. I appreciate that. And click the bell for notifications. The comments are part of a slide presentation in a module on respectful relationships as part of the new relationships and sex education curriculum beginning this year. What do you mean sex education? We'll see. One slide says, reinforce that everyone needs to show the same respect to others regardless of how different they are to them. Explain the harm caused by cancel culture and the importance of freedom of speech and the freedom of association to a tolerant and free society. That's okay so far. Teach that censorship and no platforming are harmful and damaging. Explain that seeking to get people canceled, for example, having them removed from their position of authority or job, simply because you disagree with them, is a form of bullying and not acceptable. Yeah, that's the case. Education Secretary Gavin Williamson has repeatedly threatened legislation unless universities do more to protect freedom of speech on campus. In another section, the department says teachers must not suggest that children might be a different gender based on their personality and interests. Yeah, that's horrific. So yes, they should not be making suggestions that children might be a different gender. Let them have their own genders. It also warns schools not to work with organizations that promote the idea that nonconformity to gender stereotypes should be seen as synonymous with having a different gender identity. Well, that's pretty confusing. If you understand that, put it in the comments below. What does that even mean? The rules appear to be a response to increasing criticism of activist groups seen as pushing children and young people into transitioning gender, with many children saying they later regret their decision. Quote, we're aware that topics involving gender and biological sex can be complex and sensitive, the guidance says. You should not reinforce harmful stereotypes, for instance, by suggesting that children might be a different gender based on their personality and interests. Yeah, maybe let the kids work out their own gender without you interfering with that. Resources used in teaching about this topic must also always be age appropriate and evidence-based. You can imagine the horror stories. Materials which suggest that nonconformity to gender stereotypes should be seen as synonymous with having a different gender identity must not be used, and you should not work with external organizations that produce such material. While teachers should not suggest to a child their non-compliance with gender stereotypes means either their personality or their body is wrong and in need of changing, teachers should always seek to treat students with sympathy and support. Can you imagine teachers suggesting to a child that their personality doesn't fit their body and they should change their body, yeah, it's probably time to cut back on this. Wow. Wow, that's pretty amazing. I'll put a link to this article in the description. Yeah, that's gone definitely too far. It's about time they do something. Hopefully it's soon enough to make a change. Let me know in the comments below if you'd heard anything about this. I consider this a win. It's a small win, but from a small win can come a big win. So let me know what you think. Also, if you want to support my work, I publish comics. This is College of the Dead. College of the Dead graduation day at collegeofthedead.com. It's an ongoing zombie apocalypse series about college students facing zombies on campus. A lot less scary than teachers that look like this. Even though she seems like she's a nice person. But basically trying to mess with your gender. So check that out at collegeofthedead.com. Also check out epicmermaids.com and sign up to the email list of The Mermaids, the ongoing series. It's kind of like Game of Thrones with mermaids. It's full color. It's already done. It looks great. And we're going to be launching it October 2020 on Indiegogo. So get to epicmermaids.com. Make sure you're signed up to get the email from The Mermaids letting you know when the project's going to launch. All right, I'll see you again soon with another video. And if I don't see you, I will miss you.